Hello, welcome, beautiful people. Welcome to the commerce world. If you like my video, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. This is Afrin Osama Chogle, your commerce teacher. Here we are starting with audio visual presentation. Today, our topic is classification of business. Today, we will be learning about what the classification of business comprises of, how the business is classified under the head trade and commerce, and so on. So, stay tuned. Here we come up with the flowchart of classification of business. Business basically comprises of industry and commerce. Again, the industry is further divided into primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industry. Primary industry is further classified as agricultural industry, extractive industry, and genetics industry. Secondary industries comprises of two industries, manufacturing industries and construction industries. Tertiary industries are the service providers such as transport, banking, hotel, tourism, and entertainment. On the other side, commerce are differentiated into two groups, trade and auxiliaries to the trade. Trades are further classified as home trade or foreign trade. Home trade includes wholesale trade and retail trade, whereas foreign trade includes import, export, and Entreport or re-export. On the other hand, auxiliaries to trade includes transport, warehousing, insurance, banking, advertising, mercantile agents, and etc. We will be starting with all the descriptive ideas regarding industries and commerce. Let us start with industry. Industry implies the economic activities that are associated with conversion of resources into goods that are ready for use. Basically, industry is economic activity where it converts raw material into finished or semi-finished goods. The goods produced may be consumer goods or a capital goods. Consumer goods are directly consumed by the final consumer, whereas capital goods are used by another industries for further production of goods. The term industry also means group of firms producing similar or related goods. For example, sugar industry refers to all manufacturing units producing sugar from the sugar cane. Similarly, electronic industry will include all the firms producing electronic goods. It also creates services like banking, hotel, insurance, tourism, and etc. Generally, industries are those industries or type of economic activity where the things are produced. The firms generally associated with one another and form the related good or the similar type of goods. Industries create form utility. It converts the raw material into usable finished products. All this is possible with manpower, machine power, and large capital investment. Industrial activities are conducted in factories, workshops, sheds, etc. It all depends on the size of the industry. Industries may be divided into three broad categories. Industries are divided as primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industries. Primary industry. Primary industry is concerned with nature. It is nature-oriented industry. The products of primary industry may be used as input for the secondary industry. As you all know, the things which are available in the nature can be directly utilized in the primary industries. Primary industries are further classified as agriculture industry, extractive industry, and genetic industry. The first one, agriculture industry. This includes farming and cultivation of land. The quality of products depend on many factors like fertility of land, climate conditions, rainfall, etc. Agriculture industry mainly depend upon the nature. The nature is the main source for the agriculture industry. For example, a farmer is cultivating a rice in the paddy fields, and directly these industries are depend upon the nature or the farmer's field. Next, the extractive industry. This industry draws out product from natural resources, that is soil, air and water. Generally the products are in the raw form and they are used by manufacturing and construction industries for producing finished goods. Example for extractive industries: extracting oil and minerals from the underground, fishing and forestry, etc. It may be used in a crude form or may be sent to the other industries for further processing. The next one, genetic industry. Genetic industries are engaged in reproduction and multiplication of plants and animals. Examples: animal husbandry, sericulture, horticulture, etc. Primary industries which involve in the products which are available in the nature, but they are also engaged in reproduction and multiplications. For example, horticulture and so on. Next, we are moving toward secondary industries. Secondary industries are those industries which are basically depend upon primary industries. They convert the raw material provided by the primary industry into finished products. The example for the secondary industry are tomatoes provided by primary industries are used for making sauce and ketchups, etc. The secondary industries may be further classified as manufacturing industries or construction industry. Manufacturing industries are those industries which are engaged in transforming the raw material into the finished goods with the help of machine and manpower. The final goods may be capital good or a consumer goods. Example: textile, sugar, paper industry, etc. Basically, manufacturing industry deal with manufactured product. The industry gains the raw material from the primary industry and then convert into the finished goods or semi-finished goods. The next one is construction industry. These industries are engaged in construction of buildings, dams, bridges, roads, tunnels, canals, metros, etc. In case of other industries, goods can be produced at one place and sold at another place. But goods made and sold by these industries are at one place. This industries creates immovable wealth. Construction industries produce the goods which are not movable in any circumstances. Moving towards tertiary industry. Now, tertiary industries they produce support services to primary and secondary industries. Service facilities are provided by these industries. It can be banking, hotel, tourism, entertainment, etc. What are the services which are required by the industrial for their further growth and development are provided by the tertiary industry? For example, hotel industry, tourism industry, entertainment industries, banking industries, etc. Heading toward the next classified of business is commerce. Commerce is that part of business activity which is concerned with distribution of goods and services produced by industry. It includes all those activities which are essential for maintaining a free and uninterrupted flow of goods. Commerce bridges the gap between the producers and the consumer by exchange of goods and service for money and money worth. Commerce are further classified as trade and auxiliaries to trade. Auxiliaries means helping hand. Let's start with the trade. Trade denotes buying and selling of goods and services. Trade is an exchange of goods and services with money or money worth. Trade facilitates transfer of ownership and possession of goods and services from seller to the buyer. Anything which is sold from one person to another person is considered as trade. Trade is further classified as home trade and foreign trade. And the home trade or internal trade. In this trade, buying and selling of goods and services take place within the geographical boundaries of the country. Within the country, the goods are transported or they are bought from one part of the country to the another part of the country. It uses local currency for the exchange of goods and services. Now, home trade is further classified with it wholesale trade and retail trade. Wholesale trade. In wholesale trade, goods are purchased and sold in bulk. A wholesaler purchases in a large quantity from the producer and sell in the small quantity to others. He is the link between the producer and the retailer. A person who buys from the manufacturer and sell it to the retailer is known as wholesaler. Next one is the retail trade. Retail trade is a business activity associated with sale of goods to the final consumer. A retailer is a person who purchases from the wholesaler or sometimes directly from the producer and sell them in a smaller quantity to the final consumer. Retailer is the link between wholesaler and the ultimate consumer. The person who buys from the wholesaler and sell it to the consumer is known as retailer. And the next one, foreign trade. Foreign trade takes place between different countries. It is known as foreign trade. When boundaries of two countries are crossed, then different currencies are used. Foreign trades are further classified as import, export, and Entreport. Import trade. When goods and services are purchased from another country, it is called import trade. When goods and services are sold to the foreign buyers, then it is called as export trade. Means a country sell the products to another country is known as export. Entreport trade. It is a combination of import and export trade. It involves importing the goods from one country and reselling those goods to another country. For example, Indian seller importing the goods from Japan and re-exporting the same goods to the Africa. The next one, auxiliaries to trade. These are the helping hands to the trade, auxiliaries to the trade. All those activities that facilitate smooth flow of goods from manufacturing centers to the consumption centers are called as aids to trade or auxiliaries to trade. These activities play a supporting role. They help in removing hindrances or problems which arises during the production and distribution of goods and services. The first one, transport. The goods are produced at one place, but they are demanded over a wide area. So goods are to be sent to the next different places when and where they are demanded. Modes of transport facilitate movements of men and material from one place to another. Next is warehousing. There is a gap between production and consumption. Certain goods are produced throughout the year but consumed only in a particular part of the year, and vice versa. The goods should be sorted carefully from the time they are produced till the time they are sold. Special arrangements must be made to prevent the loss or the damage. Warehouses are also known as godowns. Price is maintained at a reasonable level and there is a continuous supply of goods and services. The next one is insurance. The goods may be destroyed while in production process or in transit due to accident or in shortage due to fire or theft. These businessmen will like to cover these risks. Insurance company come to their rescue. They understand to compensate the loss suffered due to such risk. The businessman has to insure his goods and pay premium regularly. Risk cannot be avoided completely, but they can be minimized by taking insurance policy. The next one is banking. Banking supply money. Adequate funds can be obtained from the bank. Bank provide loans, overdraft, cash credit, etc. Bank also provide many services like checks, draft, debit card, credit card, online transactions, etc. It helps the trader to carry out the business activities smoothly. Advertising. Advertising is the effective aid in selling the products. The producer communicates all the information about the goods and services to create a strong desire in consumer to buy the product. Advertising is the key element to attract the consumer towards the product. It can be carried in different ways. It can be indoor or outdoor. Communicating with the people when they are at their homes is known as indoor advertising. Communicating with the people when they are outside their home is known as outdoor advertising. For example, newspaper, radio, televisions, etc. Mercantile agents. Customers are sacred over a wide area. It is not possible for seller to contact the customer. This difficulty is solved by mercantile agents. They bridge the gap between buyer and the seller. For example, brokers, state agents, and etc. And the next one, communication. In today's world, there is an information explosion. This information has to be communicated. There is a need for communication to facilitate the traders, producers, and consumers to exchange the information with one another. Various means of communication such as phones, postal services, emails are made available so as to make the communication more smoother in the business transactions.
Thanks for watching.